And I'll get to those in a minute, but I wanted to bring in a book that I ran across a couple of weeks ago that I found just fascinating. It was called Ben Franklin 2026, His Views of America and the World, and it's written by Robert L. Mers. So it just came out this year, and what I loved about it is he takes the work of Ben Franklin and brings it into our modern world. And he said, we are now at the semi-quincentennial crossroads, America at 250 years. I hadn't heard that word before, semi-quincentennial, but halfway to 500, I guess. And he says in his book, the trajectory of the nation, its triumphs and its failures, its progress and its setbacks, all come into sharp focus when viewed through the lens of such a significant anniversary, 2026. Therefore, is not merely a date. It is a crossroads, a point at which America must confront its past, assess its present, and consciously decide its future. And I think we would all agree we're in a challenging time right now with the deep political divides, which make it difficult to find common grounds and effective compromises. However, he says that taking time to reflect at this point in history offers a chance to reaffirm the enduring ideals of liberty, equality, and democracy, while also acknowledging the imperfections and the ongoing work required to fully realize them. He said Franklin understood that freedom was not a passive inheritance, but a dynamic burden requiring constant vigilance, effort, and participation from its citizens. He recognized that a republic's strength lay not only in its institutions, but in the character of its people, their willingness to engage in civic life, and their capacity for ethical commerce. And so, as we said, Ben Franklin came up with a list of his 13 principal virtues that he felt he needed to work on. And you've probably heard about this before. He would make a chart. He tracked all his progress, and it took him a little while to figure out what was going to work, but eventually what he settled on, I think he did for many years. I feel like he spent most of his lifetime doing this. And he would have the names of the days of the week, and then his list of virtues. And each week he would go down the list and focus on one a week. And whenever he found himself not doing it, he would give himself a black mark. And then later on he could look back at all the black marks he had, but he could also see his progress. And the idea is much like we've done here when we pick something to work on for a new year or our birthday or Lent. You know, it's not that once you finish one, you forget about it and go back to where you were. You know, it's all building, and so it makes like a spiral. So when he would finish the list, he'd go back to the first one again and work on that, but he would be at a different place. He'd be higher up. And so that was how he kept trying to work on perfecting himself.